Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First, the Trump administration has referred New York Attorney General Letitia James for potential criminal prosecution over alleged mortgage fraud. I'm not saying James is guilty, but when the person investigating financial fraud gets investigated for financial fraud, it's like finding out your cousin's rehab counselor has a meth lab in their basement. Meanwhile, across the pond, the UK Supreme Court has ruled that the legal definition of woman doesn't include transgender women. So, it looks like a gender recognition certificate won't let you LARP your way into a government position, at least not in the UK. Then, Joe Biden made his big comeback with a speech that included reminiscing about segregated schools and, well, it was a train wreck. The Democrats' secret weapon is a man who's basically a walking museum exhibit of how not to talk about race. We've got the clip. And wrapping up with Representative AOC breaking out a new bizarre fake accent at a Bernie rally in Idaho. She sounded less like someone from Idaho and more like someone trying to order a latte while committing tax fraud. I couldn't tell what accent she was trying to do, but you can watch it for yourself and see if you can figure it out. Okay, let's dive in. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been hit with a federal criminal referral for allegedly falsifying mortgage records to obtain loans for a property in Virginia. Well, now this is really interesting. The referral accuses James of misrepresenting her Virginia property as her primary residence in 2023 and understating the size of a Brooklyn property in past documents.
The President of these United States is not above the law.
The referral also cited past filings where James purchased another property and listed her father as a co-signer, which doesn't sound too bad until you learn that she listed her dad as her husband. Ew.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Some of the potential charges against her include bank fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, and false statements to a financial institution. So Letitia James says that she lives in Virginia, works in New York, and is married to her dad. Sounds like she filled out her mortgage forms while having a kegger with the Pelosi's. Well, it's a good thing that Letitia believes in justice. Otherwise, these fraudulent loan, fake residency, and married to my dad allegations might look suspicious. The British Supreme Court just ruled that being a woman requires more than a signature from your therapist and a pair of high heels. The UK Supreme Court ruled that under the 2010 Equality Act, the legal definition of woman refers only to those born biologically female. So it looks like there are at least a few judges in the UK that haven't lost their minds. The decision came after a challenge to a Scottish law which included trans women in female representation quotas by ruling that trans women with a gender recognition certificate could be recognized as female to help meet the quotas, which required that 50% of Scottish public board representatives be women. Scotland tried to meet its female quota with men, which is progressive code for we support women unless an eligible man shows up in eyeliner. Women's rights group FWS, backed by J.K. Rowling, argued the Scottish definition went beyond Parliament's powers and undermined sex-based protections. Scotland tried to meet their female quota with men in skirts, which, to be fair, is how most Scottish traditions start. Turns out, womanhood isn't a costume, no matter how well you tuck. Democrats have brought former President Biden out of retirement to help them build back their brand.
I remember pulling into the parking lot, and I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in the 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
When your party's brand is so broken, you call Biden to fix it? That's like asking Diddy to handle your daughter's quinceañera. At a recent rally in Nampa, Idaho with Senator Bernie Sanders, AOC appeared to use a fake accent.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 30 felony counts of fraud. Liable for sexual abuse. Of course he's lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too.
If she was trying to sound like the locals in Idaho, she failed. People in Idaho don't sound like that, unless they're having a stroke while shopping at the Spud Barn Supply and Feed. It's like she studied Idaho by watching Napoleon Dynamite narrated by someone from Beijing. But somewhere, Kamala Harris is watching this and saying, "Nailed it." Thanks for watching Headlines. And if you know anyone out there who might enjoy my shows or my clips, please do share them. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.